Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Social media does not want you to hear this. Now, you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to tell you something specifically that social media doesn't want you to hear. No, that's not what this is about. What I'm saying is social media is getting to the point where the censorship has gone crazy. And now they're determining what you're allowed to hear. See, a lot of people assume they're determining what I'm allowed to say. And that's only really part of the truth. Yes, they're determining what I can and cannot say. But more importantly, for non-content creators, for those of you that just enjoy going to the web, they're deciding what you get to hear. And so basically, you're their customer. At the same token, they hate you. They do not like you. And they're telling you, you can only listen to our acceptable views. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these few stories. And as you guys know, my time here on YouTube is now limited. They're coming after me. They've demonetized me and doing a bunch of other stuff. Hey, but you know what? That is what it is. That means I'll just move over to Rumble. They're not hurting me so much as they're hurting themselves, because they're the ones that are going to lose all the fans and all the people that are into it. So before we get into the video, a quick word from our sponsor, me. Guys, the censorship is in full force, whether it's Twitter removing certain presidents or other people, whether it's Facebook that is removing now the trucker convoy and other pages that are trying to set up events, whether it's here on YouTube. YouTube's dying. Like any unique, interesting content that goes against the narrative is being removed. As you can see, my content now is pretty much been confirmed not suitable for most advertisers. So even though you watch an ad, YouTube keeps all the money. I don't get any of it. And they're also marking it as 18 older and up, even though my content obviously isn't 18 and up. And what this does to the videos is, you can see here, it drops it down to nothing when they mark it this way. I put an appeal and they removed it, and it started jumping back up, and then they put it back in place again. And now I'm back to nothing. So a lot of the content that you're looking for, whether it's from me or other content creators, just isn't here on YouTube, or you're not being offered it. The number one place where all my content is going to go is locals, and everything is getting mirrored over to Rumble. YouTube is going to be the kind of the same old for me. I can't do many new topics. I can't talk about certain things. And YouTube just won't allow it anymore. So YouTube is going to be the least of my content. I'll still put it up here when I can. But going forward, if you want to find all my content and all the stuff that probably really matters in society today, join me over on Rumble. Join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com, where you can support me for 13 cents a day. You can take part in the forums, completely 100% free speech forums, because I am the moderator over there. I'm the only moderator, and I don't moderate. I pretty much let anybody talk about anything, including things that the community may not like, because sunshine is the best disinfectant. All right, guys, thanks for going through that, but I just want everybody to know what's going on. So, all right, social media doesn't want you to hear this. So I'm going to read down through a few of these headlines, and I want you to understand how far this is going now. Because if you wanted to support the truckers up in Canada, you can't. If you wanted to find out more about the convoy that they were talking about doing here in the United States going to D.C., you can't. If certain channels or Twitter followers that were posting things that maybe were passages from the Bible, you can't. If you have things to say about certain communities that others don't agree with, you can't. I'm just going to go through these stories, and you'll see just how far it's going and why. Not only do they just not want you to be able to form your own mind on things, but they're actively going to destroy themselves and probably a good chunk of society with it. I'm going to start with this first one here. This is from a Twitter follower that I followed that posted various Bible verses, verses from not just the Christian Bible. They posted things from Buddhism and from, I'm trying to think of some of the others. Anyway, from multiple religions. They were just passages of hope and love and loving your fellow man. That was it. Because I went back through when I heard that they had gotten a mark. I went back through and looked. I didn't find anything there. But it says, hello, we're writing to let you know that your account has been suspended due to multiple or repeat violations of those rules. What are the rules? They don't tell you. This is how YouTube and all these companies do it. They don't tell you what you did wrong, so you can at least appeal it or avoid what you were doing. They don't, because they don't want to. See, they don't want you to avoid what you did wrong. They just want to remove you because you think wrong. You have wrong think. It says, please do not reply to this email or send us new appeals for this account as we won't monitor them. Thanks, Twitter. That's what's going to happen to me. That's what's happening to other content creators. They go, don't bother appealing. We're just done with you. We're just done with you because maybe you said something the party disagrees with. Twitter is now introducing downvotes. Now here's why this is important, because it's the same thing that YouTube does. If everybody can see how many downvotes, well, it's kind of like what YouTube does, but the opposite. If everybody sees the downvotes, when you click on a video, you can quickly see if it's a 20-minute video or if it's the president. You can quickly see, hey, I'm not going to like this video, and you exit out before you finish the ads, before you have to go through all that. But by YouTube removing them, you sit through an ad and then you go, oh, this video's crap. Well, YouTube still gets the money for the ad being shown. But the content viewer, I don't know what happens to them, but it's not a good video, so why promote it? Because it means you need to click through more videos till you find one that's actually a quality you want. You might get stuck watching more ads, more revenue. But they took away the downvotes because the president was getting downvoted. A lot of different policies that were coming out were getting downvoted, but they say it's to protect the creator. It doesn't do anything to protect a creator. It just makes your viewers mad because they sit through a video that maybe isn't the quality or what they were looking for. But now Twitter is coming out with downvotes. Now, here's the interesting thing. It says, number one, see a reply that isn't adding to the conversation? Let us know by downvoting. Who says that it's not adding? Well, someone that disagrees with it, obviously. But how does that, okay, you may say, I love A, and I say, I love B, I hate A. So I can downvote your A comment. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean it's adding to the conversation. It means I don't like it. Well, now you're giving the people that may disagree with something a lot of control. But here's the crazy part. Downvotes are private. Okay, just like YouTube, right? Your votes aren't public and won't be shared with the tweet authors or others on the timeline. This is an invisible brigade system. Bots and haters and everybody else can come out and downvote something or on an account that they don't like, and it'll get suppressed and it'll no longer show up in the feed. You know they're going to make bots to downvote this stuff on people that disagrees with the narrative. And then they say you can help make Twitter better. Your feedback helps us prioritize higher quality content for you and everyone else on Twitter. So if someone that's far left-leaning, someone that's far right-leaning, or somewhere in between comes out and starts doing this, they're going to allow the downvotes, but no one's going to know what the actual downvote count is except their machines. So the trucker convoy that's in Canada, the Ontario government contacts somebody somewhere, gets a bot farm going just to downvote all the things about the trucker convoy, never even shows in your feed, unless you're probably following that specific account. You'd never even know it was happening. And if it gets shared, that won't be shown because it doesn't add to the conversation. Let me keep moving on here. YouTube's new censorship tactic is to limit streams that are too popular. And this is because of the trucker convoy. So a lot of people, the trucker convoy up in Ottawa said, you know what, we don't want legacy media. We don't want lame stream media here because you guys lie about us. So you're not allowed to, we're not going to interview. We're not going to let you in. We're not going to talk to you. But we'll let small content creators, YouTubers, other independent people come in and we'll talk to them. So what did YouTube do? Well, if somebody's live streaming, but they don't have a big channel or you're not subscribed to them, you're not going to be able to see it. And so they stopped the stream for people. It's just straight out censorship. That's all it is. And they literally really don't have an excuse for this. Let me keep going on. Canadian trucker convoy seeks legal help after GoFundMe suspends the fundraising page. Now GoFundMe, well, they say, oh, well, we're going to look into this and make sure the money's being appropriated as it should be. Did they do that for Bravo Lima Mike? No, they didn't. So why this one? Because it's against the narrative. It's against the government. It's against the message. And so they're just removing it. And let you guys, people, I don't know why they keep stop using GoFundMe. They do this all the time. They did it on Rittenhouse. They did it on a bunch of stuff. Use Give, Send, Go. Change companies. Boycott. Put your money elsewhere. I don't know why people don't learn this. Now they've started just giving the money back because the Ottawa government said, well, we're going to appropriate this money. Why didn't they appropriate it from anybody else that did harm or protest, or not saying that the truckers are doing harm, but why didn't they appropriate the money from anybody else that was doing protests that maybe may or may not have burned down billions of dollars of damage in the cities? Convoy support grows as Facebook sells out truckers. The American convoy that was loading up to go to D.C. had 150,000 people on the Facebook page. Facebook just yeeted it, got rid of it. Nope, you're not allowed to plan the event. You're not allowed to go do this. Why? Because you're going against the narrative. And I'm not getting into all these stories because I don't want to make this super long, but I want you guys to know what's going on. And so one day you're going to come into YouTube and you're going to just not see me in your feed anymore, and you might forget all about me. And that's okay. I'm all right with that. Maybe I wasn't important enough, commenter, or maybe I didn't provide enough entertainment that you were like, I'm not really going to follow him to another platform. Like, I'd watch him while he's on YouTube, but I don't care if he's gone. That's okay. But understand that that's going to happen to me and everybody else, and pretty soon they're trying to funnel you into you only having one view of the world that is the approved message, because everything else you just never come in contact. You don't know there's other sides to the story. You don't know there's other ways to look at the world. They're going full CCP. That's what they're doing. Twitter directed people to delete millions of tweets that hardly anyone saw. Now, what's interesting about this is, why do they throw the hardly anyone saw on there? Well, they want you to make you feel like it's not a big deal. Twitter, this Tuesday, which is just last week, Twitter said Tuesday it ordered people to delete millions of posts on its website that hardly anyone saw. Who cares? Well, the company said it required people to take down 4.7 million tweets violating the company's rules between January 1st and June 30th of last year. Of the tweets removed, 68% received fewer than 100 impressions prior to removal, with an additional 24 receiving between 100 and 1,000 impressions. So according to the Washington Times and Twitter, if you have less than 1,000 impressions, no one really saw you. You're not that important. What about new content creators? What about people that want to maybe start being a Twitter user, or people that they don't want new influencers? They don't want growth. They don't want people that maybe disagree with what's going on. And so any new people trying to join the game now, they're just removing. Same thing on YouTube. I have a thing called Social Blade. So it's a plugin that you can install. And so when I go to all the content creators that I normally watch, I can see their subscriber count over the last year. I think it's the last 12 months. Anyway, whether it's a farmer video about farm tractors, because I'm kind of getting into that because I'm buying 25 acres of land, whether it's about how to dig your own pond and how to seal it so it doesn't leak, whether it's computer stuff, whatever. If you look, the subscriber counts on all the channels are down 30, 40, 50%. Why? Because people are leaving YouTube. Because people are moving on. But see, you don't know that because people rarely talk about it. Dan Bongino, who got banned here on YouTube, I think he had like 1.2 million subscribers here on YouTube. He's got 2 million over on Rumble. Sticks Sexenhammer 666, I think is how you pronounce that. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers over on Rumble. The thing is, people need to make the move, and people just go, I'm comfortable with YouTube. It helps me find things I'm not familiar with. That's great. But find the content creator on YouTube, use their algorithms, find them on YouTube, then go follow them over on Rumble. And over time, you'll have such a large category over there that you can move off the platform. Same thing with locals, like Rakita Law and Viva Fry, 2 lawyers that were having troubles here with live streams on YouTube. They went over and opened a locals page. They're on Rumble. People are having to make this change. And again, it hurts me less than it hurts you. Yeah, I'll lose some income. Yeah, I'll lose some influence, and maybe most people, maybe many guys won't find my content. I know my content. That's why I talk about it. But it means young people or people that aren't familiar with it won't be able to find that content, won't be able to even open their eyes to this whole other world that maybe helps them, maybe helps them grow, maybe helps them disagree with the government message. But that's where they're going. This one, I have to scroll past the title because it has a word in there that I can't put on YouTube. But I want YouTubers to see this. Twitter allows adults that inappropriately like people under the age of 18 and want to have relations with them. Twitter allows it as long as they don't glorify it. As long as they don't glorify it, it's okay, but you're allowed to talk about it. You're allowed to share images. I can't agree with that stuff. Like, I'm not okay with that. And then lastly here, the White House, our government, says Spotify needs to shut up Joe Rogan. A disclaimer on his videos are not good enough. You need to do something more. Again, we're here. You wanted to talk about the lockdowns. You wanted to talk about the censorship. Here we are. This is it. And again, I don't know which video is going to be my last. I don't know in which video YouTube says, well, that's it, man. We're going to strike you. You're done. Because there are content creators, they've just removed 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, you're done, and they remove them completely. 1 fail swoop, that's it. They're gone off YouTube. That may happen to me at some point soon. And, you know, I've got locals. I still can spread my message to some people. I've got, 45,000 members. They're not supporters, but they're members. They're people over on locals. I'm going to make all my videos now. I was putting them only for supporters over on locals because then people on locals could support me and watch them there ad-free, or they could come to YouTube and watch them. Well, if YouTube removes me, I'll just make all my stuff free over on locals. Same thing on Rumble. I'll just keep plugging on. And maybe I have to go get a 9-to-5 job again. Okay. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to stop asking people to share this message because that's the paramount reason why I do this, is so young guys can find this material and young guys can learn what's going on, find the truth, maybe find out about stoicism and learning what some of these crazy women are up to. That's not going to stop, even if I don't get paid anymore. It just means I'll do a lot less of them because I'll be working, 10 hours a day as a network engineer. But it's not because they hate me. They don't hate me. They don't care about me. They hate you. They hate you for listening to content that they don't like. They hate you for disagreeing with the message. They hate you for thinking independently and trying to hear all sides of a story before making up your mind. They don't like you. And because of that, ultimately, you're going to be the ones to suffer. So guys, if you want to support my work, join me on Locals, betterbachelor.locals.com. Links are below. Join me on Rumble, which is rumble.com/user/betterbachelor, all one word. That's where my good content's going. And again, eventually I just won't be here anymore. And, the world will move on, but I'm still going to keep doing what I keep doing best.